Evergrande.
Evergrande.
Chinese developer Evergrande.
Evergrande.
What is Evergrande?
Evergrande Group, one of China's largest developers, has had a rough go of it lately. After reporting that its shares are not worth what they once were, their stock prices have plunged to an all-time low. Investors are worried about the future health of this company and its effect on the economy if it does collapse. With so much uncertainty surrounding Evergrande's fate, there is no telling how bad things would get for both China and worldwide market if this developer did fail in some way. In this article, I'm going to discuss what would happen if this once powerful Chinese developer collapsed, as well as why they are struggling so much currently. What is Evergrande? Evergrande, or Hengda in Chinese, is a real estate and infrastructure company that was established in 2010. It was founded by billionaire Su Jiayin, who now serves as the chairman of Evergrande Group. The company's headquarters are located in southern China, Guangdong province. Evergrande has been involved in a lot of projects, including the building of the first bridge over China's crosswater channel and high rainfall, a typhoon-proof dam on the Liuxi River. In 2017, Evergrande became one of the first companies to sell infrastructure bonds in Hong Kong. The company managed to raise more than $2 billion from doing so. History of Evergrande's collapse.
Evergrande borrowed a lot of money, what we call offshore, in international financial markets.
Evergrande enjoyed much success when it first launched. As China was building its economy, Evergrande decided to take advantage of the growing population in many cities by building modern homes for them to live in. It would have been foolish not to jump on this opportunity because everyone wanted a place to live at the time. So Evergrande began building both homes and shopping malls. For a while, Evergrande was able to sell enough homes to make a profit. They also had many other things going for them at the time, such as an ever-growing population willing to buy their products and strong economic growth, with its middle class increasing by 40 million people every year. However,
Evergrande has been selling off assets to meet its debts, but has still been missing repayment deadlines.
In 2017, Evergrande's profits began falling. This was mostly because China's economy began to slow down and many cities actually became less populated than they once were. There were fewer buyers for homes, and shopping malls started being built all over the country, which increased supply but decreased demand. Real reasons behind the fall of Evergrande. Evergrande's collapse is primarily because they got ahead of themselves. They built too many homes and shopping malls in China, which increased the supply of these items but decreased demand, since many cities began losing population and economic growth slowed down significantly. The slowdowns in the Chinese economy corresponded with a drop in property prices all across China, which brought Evergrande's shares down with it. So by looking at Evergrande, you could say, wow, they really messed up. Is Evergrande really going to collapse? Evergrande's shares have been on a downward trend for some time, but the company still has many other things going for it. For one thing, there is still a sizable middle class in China who will buy Evergrande homes and their products. Plus, China's economy isn't just slowing down, it's doing better than ever. In fact, China's economy grew significantly higher than other countries. So, as of now, it's really hard to guess what Evergrande's fate may be. They're already working on various projects meant to increase their profits, but many of them have yet to show any signs of success. But who knows? Maybe the Chinese economy will rebound and allow Evergrande to get back on track, especially if they continue working on new products, which could attract more buyers and fuel their business. What would happen if Evergrande collapsed? Evergrande is attached with many banks across the country. So if the company collapses, it will likely cause a domino effect that starts with these banks going out of business as well. But that's not it. We found some other issues that will occur if Evergrande goes under. Number 1. Loss of jobs. Evergrande employs over 100,000 workers. So if the company goes under, many people will lose their job. This can lead to mass riots across China and even social instability to some degree, since everyone needs money to survive. Number 2. Loss of property value. Evergrande has invested a lot of money into their shopping malls and homes. So if they collapse, people won't want to buy these places anymore. This will decrease property value across China. Number 3. Banking crisis. Since Evergrande is tied with many banks, the collapse of the company will also pull down all these banks. This would cause a banking crisis that's likely to create turmoil throughout China's economy.
Back in mid-June or so, we heard about banks curbing lending.
Number 4. Widespread panic and financial loss. As we said before, Evergrande has a lot of ties with many banks. If they go under, it will cause other companies to collapse as well and make the entire situation worse. It would result in a widespread panic all over China and loss of wealth throughout the country's economy. Number 5. Loss of prestige for China. Evergrande is one of the largest companies in China, and if it collapses, it will show the world that no matter how big a company gets, they can still lose everything if their investments are bad enough. Many large corporations use Evergrande as an example for this reason. Number 6. Huge gap in supply and demand. Since the population of China is decreasing, the number of homes in China for people to live in will increase. The same thing goes with shopping malls and office buildings, which means that demand for these items will decrease while supply increases. This will lead to a huge gap between supply and demand that may never be filled again, causing a further economic slowdown in China. How is it going to affect the world economy? Evergrande has a big influence on the world economy, so if they fall, a few things might happen to the world's economy. Number 1. Import and export prices would increase. Evergrande is tied with many other large economies around the world. If they go under, it would likely affect the prices of imports and exports, since China has a great deal of control in these areas. Number 2. Decrease in variety of goods and services. Evergrande has a lot of influence on many companies that produce a variety of products and services. Their collapse would cut off supply for these products and services worldwide, and ultimately it'll cause scarcity of these goods and services, which will cause prices to increase. Number 3. Reduction in foreign investment into China. Many foreign investors use Evergrande as an example to invest in China. If Evergrande goes under, it will show that investing in China isn't strong. So it might cause foreign investors to lose faith in China's economy, and eventually they'll stop investing in China. Number 4. World prices rise, creating a domino effect throughout the world economy. Evergrande is tied with many companies that make a wide range of goods and services. So if they collapse, their prices will increase. This would cause other companies to raise their prices as well, creating a domino effect through China, India, South America, and beyond. Number 5. The economic growth of developing countries will slow down. Evergrande has a big influence on developing countries such as India and South America. In case they go under, their economy will slow down significantly. This will slow down the economic growth of these countries, which would affect people all over the world since they depend on these countries for many common items. How is it going to affect stock investors? In case Evergrande goes under, the value of every stock that have a connection to it will drop up to 50%. In addition, some stocks would go to 0.2, if not 0 in value. Foreign investors would lose interest in doing business with China because of the increasing risks that may come from investing there. It will most likely cause an increase in the value of the US dollar. This will affect consumers all over the world since more items will cost more money due to their dependence on goods imported from America. Evergrande is one of the largest economies in the world, and their collapse would affect many others, including global stock markets. This will cause them to go down since international trade has a big impact on them, and if they decrease, the prices of these stocks would do so as well. What steps should you take now? If you think the collapse of Evergrande is inevitable, there are a few things you should do now. 1. Diversify your investments. This will decrease the risk of losing all your money. Number 2. Prepare for an increase in prices. The fall of Evergrande will cause a domino effect that may never stop since different companies will be trying to increase their prices due to the lack of money. You should prepare now by stocking up on everything you need so that you won't have any problems later. If possible, try to buy items that are produced within your country since they will be cheaper than imported products. Number 3. Get your money out of China. If Evergrande goes under, it will be almost impossible to withdraw any money from them without facing difficulties. You should get your money out before all withdrawals become unavailable. Number 4. Don't wait. If you have the choice of doing nothing or acting, we suggest that you choose to act, since waiting can cause you to lose a lot of money and even end up having nothing at all. You should always do your best not to rely on luck, but rather be as prepared as possible for future problems by trying to avoid them. What do you think? Will a company as big as Evergrande will ever collapse? And what effect will it have to the world? Let us know in the comment section below.